Hi everyone, here's the Book Chemist once again, and this is just a quick video to let you know quite how awesome the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin is. It reminded me a lot of The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin, which I read earlier this year. They're both novels that try to imagine what life would be and how human civilization would have evolved on planets with extreme living conditions and with a hostile environment that people have to fight against on a daily basis. The Left Hand of Darkness is set on a planet of almost perpetual winter, whereas the 5th season, the world of the 5th season, is a place plagued by almost constant terrible earthquakes and volcanic activity. Just like Le Guin in Left Hand of Darkness, Jemisin here manages to create an extremely detailed and rich world and to provide us with so many details about this world's natural resources, the way the societies, the human societies in this world have evolved to cope with the challenges they face, the various factions that make up these civilizations, the history of this world, details about the equipment and the items that people have to carry with them on a daily basis to cope with these living circumstances. So many incredible details without ever stopping the action for 1 second. The book is constantly propelled forward, it's all plot, there isn't one page in here of pure sheer exposition. Part of this is achieved through the brilliancy of Jemisin's language, the way she uses specific terms to denote the various, for instance, the various social groups that compose this world, or the various professions that exist in this world, the items that people use on a daily basis. They are creative and new, but they're also intuitive, so that you almost learn the language of this world as you're reading along. It's, as all great novels too, this one too teaches you how to read it as you're progressing through it. Part of this brilliant world building is also achieved through a great economy of words, a great economy of plot. Every character in here brings something new to the novel. It teaches you about this character at the same time as it's giving you an insight into the broader world all these people inhabit. Not a single page is wasted here. It's a fairly short novel considering how much it's achieved within the covers of this book, and part of the magic of this world building is just frankly beyond me. It's the kind of book that clearly does something brilliant and genius, and I'm not 100% sure how the author does it. Part of it is just purely magical. Like all great speculative fiction, the 5th season creates an imaginary world also as a means of commenting on our own world and our own reality. For instance, in the world of the 5th season, wizards, called orogenians here, people who are able to manipulate earthquakes and use their energy to achieve miraculous feats. They are a despised and oppressed group of people, no matter how powerful they are. And by portraying the way orogenians have been exploited and oppressed throughout history, Jemisin is able to comment on the state of other oppressed groups within our own world. Ethnic minorities, for instance, or the working classes, and beyond. The 5th season is a book about astounding civilizations that managed to survive for millennia in spite of the dangers and threats of their world, in spite of all the obstacles they had to face and all the chances for destruction they encountered. But at the same time, it's not a celebration of all these achievements and all this power. Instead, it asks time and again the question of who exactly had to suffer and who exactly had to be oppressed and had to perish so that all of these great, supposedly great achievements could be obtained, so that somebody else could live a life of safety and stability. I was constantly in awe of the perspicacity of its political arguments and reflections, and it also talks very well, it describes very well the psyche of people who have to interact with other people they despise, with social or ethnic groups through the kind of indoctrination that doesn't just happen in a lifetime, but is inoculated in a population through decades, generations, if not centuries. It's brilliant at exploiting the intricacies and the perversity of racism and these types of prejudice. It's narrated half in the second person, half in the third person. With its second person passages and some of its free indirect speeches, it strikes a very light conversational tone, which is something that I usually don't like very much. I find a lot of it in, especially novels that are trying to achieve more of a, that are trying to convey a sense of action by maybe lowering the register of the language, by becoming a bit more chummy with the reader. I find that off-putting most of the time. It makes me feel like the tone of the book suddenly drops and it feels like I'm reading a BuzzFeed article all of a sudden, but that wasn't at all the case in the 5th season. I found that Jemisin was able to to handle both the more awe-inspiring and more literary passages and the more colloquial, more action-packed scenes. She was able to convey both of them with extreme mastery, and I was just blown away. I am going to read The Obelisk Gate, is that the title? Yes, The Obelisk Gate, the second book in the Broken Earth trilogy, as soon as I can get it through my library. The Broken Earth trilogy is immensely successful, so you probably didn't need me to tell you that it's good, but if, like me, you still hadn't read it until recently, I really recommend that you do, because it's an awesome novel, and I have great expectations for the rest of the series. Let me know, if you're Jemisin fans, what you thought of the 5th season, which books in her oeuvre I should check out next after I'm done with the Broken Earth trilogy, and yeah, share your opinions of the book in the comments as always. Thank you for watching, and bye everybody.